Frequently we talk about engaging the muscles in the lower back and the hips properly to protect your lumbar spine. A phrase I hear people say a lot is lift with your legs, not with your back. But sometimes it's hard to know what that means. This drill is one that we do frequently to reinforce hinging through the hips and not rounding the spine. And I wanted to break it down a little bit so you can understand why we do what we do and what modifications you can add. Ideally here, you're gonna hold this stick so it touches the back of your head between your shoulder blades and your tailbone. And the goal of the motion is to drive your hips backwards and not lose any one of those contact points. This is the correct motion and what we're going for. And there's no real side to side happening or anything like that. So what does wrong look like here? The first mistake people will make is this one here. The second I start to round my spine rather than use my hips, you see the stick come off my tailbone. That's you lifting with your spine rather than using all your leg muscles. The next one people will do looks something more like this, where their shoulders drop away from the stick. So this is you not being able to engage your abdominal core muscles well, and you just kind of dump your spine away from what you're doing. And it would look like you were picking something up with the sway back. The other problem I see a lot with this is they may do a good job of staying in contact with the stick, but you end up doing something like this where you're just dropping your knees down rather than hinging through the hip joint. For that, we like to get a chair, a coffee table, a bench, something like that. And you're gonna step all the way forward so your feet are underneath it and your knees or your shin are touching the table while you're standing up tall. And what this does is it just blocks your knee from being able to shift forward, and it reinforces that backwards motion through the hip where you can really load all your big, powerful leg muscles rather than overload the knee joint. Mastering this movement mechanic will make it so that way every time you go to pick something up off the floor, you're far more likely, without having to think about it, to load through your hip joint rather than to just grab something and strain your back. There you go.